The Lord be with you. Pilgrims of hope, we celebrate today the mystery of God's providence and the Eucharistic life of the Church, the body and blood of Christ. A humbling experience from my elementary school years popped up as I pondered today's celebration. I recalled how my friends and I shared food, particularly fruits, by breaking them into smaller pieces to ensure everyone could at least have a bite. One day, I took a bright orange to school, and at break time, I brought it out to eat. Immediately, my friends rushed to me with a familiar refrain. No, no, give me some, give me some. They gathered around, their eyes wide with curiosity. I carefully peeled the orange, the fragrant aroma filling the air, and divided it into as many small pieces as possible, ensuring each of my friends received a share. The pieces were tiny, but the gesture was enormous. As each of us savored our small pieces of the orange, our faces lit up with delight. My friends thanked me with heartfelt gratitude, and at the playground, we were laughing and running around with faces beaming with joy and heart swelled with a sense of generosity. I felt a deep satisfaction and happiness for making my friends joyful. Brothers and sisters, food and drink are so crucial to our existence that, for the most part, a prolonged supply shortage could be tantamount to a pandemic. When the disciples of Jesus wanted to dismiss a hungry crowd of 5,000, Jesus declared, "Give them some food yourselves." The disciples were facing an impossible situation. 5 loaves and 2 fish were all they had, and they protested, "We do not have enough." Yet Jesus takes what little is offered, gives thanks, breaks the loaves, and distributes them. Not only does everyone eat their fill, but 12 baskets of fragments remain. Over and above the satisfaction of physical hunger, Jesus Christ gives us his body and blood through bread and through drink as a memorial of his passion. Bread and wine signify God's blessing, covenant, and sustenance from his hand, even before Israel, the law, and the temple. In Genesis, Melchizedek, king of Salem and priest of the Most High God, offers bread and wine and blesses Abraham after his victory, foreshadowing the priestly offering of Christ. Melchizedek teaches us the intersection of victory and worship, reminding Abraham and us that all triumphs, all victories are ultimately God's doing, and our gratitude must find its expression in sacrificial offerings. But our victory and worship could be empty if they do not lead to a loving service of our brothers and sisters. The celebration of Corpus et Sanctus Christi, the body and blood of Christ, invites us to revere the sacred mysteries of the body and blood of Christ, that we may experience in ourselves the fruit of the redemption he won for us. Jesus Christ did not just celebrate the memorial of his passion and said, "That's it." He gave us a command. "Do this in memory of me. Do this in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink the cup, you proclaim the death of the Lord until he comes." Whenever we gather for the Eucharist, we remember Christ's sacrifice on the cross, his body broken and blood poured out. We participate in the new covenant, sealed in his self-giving love. We are nourished by his very life so that we may become for the world what he is for us. Bread broken for others. In the feast of the body and blood of Christ, we share joyfully in the nourishment Jesus gives us, his friends. We eat and drink, proclaiming his death until he comes again. Therefore, when celebrating or participating in the Eucharistic feast, we must do so thoughtfully, prayerfully, in keeping with the Lord's intention and the weight of the command. Do this in memory of me. Dear friends, our hungry neighbors are gazing on us, and their voices resound with the refrain, "No, give me something to eat." Can you hear them? The refrain, we do not have enough, can echo in our heart, in our faith communities, families, and personal lives. We worry that our faith is too small, our resources too meager, too limited, our love too weak. Let us be honest about our wealth or poverty. The disciples did not pretend to have more than they did. In acknowledging our sufficiency or insufficiency, we trust God's action rather than our resources. God takes our insufficiency and multiplies it into abundance. We participate more in the mission of Christ through generosity and not sufficiency. Little or much, Jesus blesses whatever we offer in services to the least of God's children. Sharing creates abundance. I say that again, sharing creates abundance. Jesus could have fed the crowd without the disciples, but he chose to involve them. He involves us in his mission. He invites us into his work. Our willingness to share, even our doubts, becomes the seedbed for miracles. When we bring our meager talent, small prayers, and limited goodwill to Christ, he multiplies them beyond measure. What seems insignificant in human terms becomes an instrument of divine abundance. Jesus' miracle shows that when we bring what little we have, whatever represents our 5 loaves and 2 fish, to him, he makes sure no one goes hungry. The same Lord who blessed loaves and fish is with us in the Eucharist, inviting us to do this until he comes again. What is an orange for many hungry children? What are 2 fish and 5 loaves for 5,000 hungry people? It is not the quantity of the gift that matters, but the quality of the heart that gives it. In my experience with elementary school friends, it didn't matter how much orange we ate. Ultimately, we were satisfied and happy, not because our stomachs were full, but because there is joy in sharing. Our selfless act of sharing what we have with others tells a story that true wealth and satisfaction lie in the kindness and generosity we show to others. A sign of the generosity and plenty of Jesus' gift in the Eucharist is given by the 12 baskets of leftovers. Similarly, our generous disposition to share our blessings with others brings us multiple blessings, leaving us with more than enough leftover fragments of divine providence and abundant satisfaction. Being satisfied is not merely having enough. You could be truly satisfied with so little that others would begin to think of you as well off and come to you asking for assistance, asking for more. Give me some. No. Fellow pilgrims, our Eucharistic celebration does not begin and end in the church building. Mass is not a passive remembrance, but an active sending. We are sent to feed the hungry, to shelter the homeless, to console the afflicted, to forgive offenses. So whenever you hear the voice of doubt, we do not have enough, heed the Lord's command. Give them some food yourselves. Bring that doubt and your little offering to Jesus. Lay it on the altar. Watch as he transforms it into the bread of life that satisfies every hunger. Then go forth in his name, sharing that bread with a world that still hungers for meaning, healing, and hope. Trust always in divine providence and give your all, confident that your small offering can become a feast of joy, happiness, and satisfaction in God's hands. God bless you.